She keeps looking at you, but is it just eye contact or is she imagining more? Today, we're revealing 20 subtle signs a woman is sexually attracted to you, and most men miss every single one. Spot these, and you'll never be clueless again.
We're going live, baby.
We'll do it live.
You're listening to the premier podcast for men who want to not only be better with women, but want to be better men in general. This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host,
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer. He is a certified master life coach and NLP practitioner.
It's true. Damn true. Happy hump day again, guys. That morning phlegm, you know what I'm talking about. We have a fun episode for you today. Right after my divorce back in 2014, I floundered on the dating circuit for months. I'd been out of practice for 15 years. And I was afraid to make a move, right? I was waiting for a written invitation from women to even go for a kiss. And the thing is, women rarely give written invitations. Okay. Women are passive and subtle by nature. 99.99% of girl game is just them hoping you notice stuff, right? And it might seem like a terrible strategy from frustrated men, but if you think about it, it's pretty genius because the bold, confident men they want show themselves. And the passive, weak guys they don't want weed themselves out. Okay. And I'll put you guys on game today with 20 subtle signs that she likes you. Number 15 is so obvious that you'll slap yourself in the face for missing it. Before we get into it, though, my name is Paul Bauer. I help men level up and get better with women. And the funny thing about doing that is it tends to make us better men in all areas of our lives. Now, the first one here, if you don't know this one already, I just want you to hand in your man card right now, okay? But it's prolonged eye contact. Prolonged eye contact, okay? If she's making eyes at you, it's a sign, bro. It's a sign she likes you, okay? So holding your gaze a second too long or locking eyes multiple times shows deep interest. Now, here's something that a lot of you guys probably don't know or don't think about, all right? But if a girl makes eye contact with you and you make eye contact with her, you need to hold that eye contact until she looks away. Okay. You hold eye contact with her until she looks away, because whoever looks away first is the submissive one. Now, the thing is that this is really hard for guys because eye contact by itself, it's such a powerful thing that it almost makes us feel uncomfortable. And if you're not good with women to begin with, you're probably not going to be that good at eye contact. And so this is going to feel awkward to you. You're going to feel weird about it. Okay. But you want to hold that eye contact because that is such a powerful move. And I like to tell guys to focus on this eye. Okay. So as you're looking at me, focus on this eye, the left eye trick, I call it. Okay. So just focus in on that eye and you'll do okay. And just hold that eye contact a little bit longer than you're comfortable with and wait until she looks away. And then you're golden, bro. You're golden. By the way, guys, I do have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Where's this at? I have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So do be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications, okay? So you don't miss a single one. The next one is you're having a conversation with a girl and you just happen, as you're making that eye contact, you happen to notice that every once in a while she looks down. She looks down at your lips, okay? Glancing at your lips frequently is a subconscious sign of sexual interest. Now, if you ever read How to Be a 3% Man by Corey Wayne, he talks about this sort of triangle thing that women do, right? Or actually, he recommends that you do it. I take that back. He recommends that you do it, right? So as you're making eye contact with a girl, go from like her left eye to her right eye, down to her mouth, and then back up. Now, you don't want to just keep doing this like creepily, but you want to do it subtly, right? So you make eye contact with her left eye for a while, and then you lock in on her right eye for a little bit, and then you look down at her lips and you look back up, right? If as you're doing that, she looks down at your lips, that's a sign that she wants to be kissed. Okay. That's a sign that she wants to be kissed right there. Okay. Why don't women just tell us this stuff? God, because they're not men. That's why. Frequent hair touching. Like if she's doing this sort of thing and she's all like brushing her hair while she's in the middle of talking to you, that's a sign of preening, adjusting, flipping her hair. Those are signs of attraction. It's subconscious. She's doing it because she wants to look good for you. She wants to make sure she's looking her best for the guy that she's trying to attract. Okay. This is, it's so subtle. It's so subtle that if you guys don't know about this sort of thing, you'll totally miss it. You'll just think, oh, that's just a woman, brushing their hair out of the way and stuff like that. No, like women are used to having long hair. They are used to having it in their face. They're used to having it blow all over the place, right? They're not always preening themselves, making themselves, adjusting themselves to make themselves look nice. But if in the middle of conversation, they're just frequently like, brushing their hair back or doing this sort of thing, it's a subconscious gesture that she's trying to look her best for you. Okay. So this is a sign that she's showing interest. Okay. By the way, what's an indicator of interest you look for from a woman? Okay. What's something that, like, let's say you're aware of this stuff and you're on game. What's an indicator of interest that you're looking for? Let me know in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, drop a comment below. Okay. We got some people in the chat here. Nurse Chick's in the house. Well, actually, Phil's in the house first. He says, hoorah. What's up, Double Dog? And then Nurse Chick says, good morning, gentlemen. Happy hump day. Nurse Chick always gets this.
So naughty.
Yes.
I'm going to come.
You know it. Brother Kamal's in the house. The triangle eye lip method has always worked for me. Awesome. Erkin's in the house. What's up, brother? And, oh, hey, Charles in the house. Viking Paradigm. Hey, good morning, man. Good to see you. Another thing, now this is interesting too. I'll tell you why. This is kind of like an NLP thing, right? But subtle mirroring, right? If she mirrors your posture, movement, or speech rhythm, she's aligning herself with you. Now, some of these things you can instigate by doing it to her first. Okay. A lot of this stuff is NLP. Okay. So subtle mirroring, if you want her to like you and you want to build rapport, one thing that you could do is subtly match and mirror her body language. Okay. So if she leans over like this, you just, you're having a normal conversation, you subtly lean over like this. Right. If she leans back, you subtly lean back. Right. That kind of thing, matching and mirroring body language and tone. And, like I say, she's speaking really fast. You start speaking really fast, that sort of thing. It honestly gets people to like you more. Okay. The concept here is that we like people who are like us, and your body language and tone, if you're matching it, subtly, subconsciously sends a signal that you guys have this thing in common. Yeah. And she'll pick this up and she'll start liking you more. Okay. But the thing is that if she already likes you, she might just naturally start matching and mirroring you. Okay. Playful teasing or light sarcasm. We often refer to these as, we're past the 8-minute mark. We often refer to these as shit tests, right? Shit tests. Teasing is often a way to build sexual tension while keeping it playful. Now, a lot of you guys are taking women too damn seriously. And so you take the playful teasing or light sarcasm as disrespect, bro. How dare she disrespect me? She disrespects me, I'm walking out. Right? Stop taking women so goddamn seriously. Okay? Have some fun with it. It's called game for a reason. It's supposed to be fun. Okay? Games are supposed to be fun. Playful teasing or light sarcasm are supposed to be fun. In fact, it's one of the 3 T's. I tell guys, tease, touch, and tell. You've got to tease her. That playful teasing is flirting. Okay. If she's doing it to you, it means she likes you, right? If she doesn't like you, she's going to be totally cold and indifferent to you, or even just mean spirited and straight up insulting. Okay. But if she likes you, it's going to be playful teasing and light sarcasm. It's meant to be fun. Okay, so don't take it so goddamn seriously. Hey, brother Kamal sent a €5.99 super chat. A woman won't make physical eye contact if they don't like you. Yeah, like why would they? In fact, because they know that when they like a guy that they're going to do that, they're going to actively try to not do that if they don't like you. All right, because I'm not putting the shaking titty or booty videos up unless it's like a $20 or more super chat for real. Just because I get demonetized, so it's not worth my effort going back and editing. I'm going to give my man this one.
Respect the cock and tame the cunt.
Damn right. Damn right. I can play these audio clips. It's the booty shaking and the tit videos that gets me demonetized. All right. Guys, by the way, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, we're having our monthly Wolfpack hangout. If you've been thinking about joining the group, now's the time to join, okay? It comes with a 7-day free trial. Get in the pack. Come and hang out with us tomorrow night.
Beer club? Not anymore.
Home, midlife drift, feeling alone. You don't need hacks, blogs, lies. You need men with fire in their eyes. We rebuild from the ground up. No excuses, no soft stuff. Telegram lit 24/7. Brothers locked in steel, not heaven. Step inside the pack. We don't fall, we attack. Truth, fire, presence, we bring it back. Masculine pride, no time to slack. Step inside the pack. Drop your past, claim your track. No therapy talk, no playing small. We sharpen blades, we take it all.
For the love of God, somebody too sweet me for that one. All right, the next one we have here is fidgeting or adjusting clothing. This is very similar to her touching her hair, right? This goes back to preening. So she may adjust her clothes, jewelry. She might, want to show the cleavage a little bit better, right? But she's going to adjust that kind of stuff to appear more attractive to you. And a lot of it's subconscious. She just, all of a sudden, she's like, oh, are my tits showing enough? Like, gotta make sure they're showing enough, right? Another one is leaning in when talking. So physical closeness increases when attraction is present. So leaning in is a clear indicator. Now, here's a cool trick that you can do. Because like I said, some of these things you can induce, right? By doing some things yourself. So if you find that she's not leaning in, because all these signs, this is a funny thing too, right? I talked about at the beginning, I was waiting for a written invitation. This is why I always say, always go for a kiss no matter what. Because sometimes women aren't doing these things, right? And so if you go into a date and you're like, oh, she's not doing any of these things, I guess she's not interested. Sometimes women are just as nervous as you are on a first date, and they won't be doing all these obvious signs, okay? And I say obvious, most of you guys are, it's blowing your mind, some of you guys right now, right? But let's say you're on a date and she's nervous and she's just sort of sitting there, or she's leaning back and she's not actively like leaning in. There's a couple things you could do, right? If you lean in yourself and start talking, right? And then lean back. Oftentimes when you lean in, she's going to lean in too. And then you pull back. Okay. And that sort of draws her back into you. That works often. Or you can just start talking a little bit softer. You start talking a little bit softer, get down like this. So she has to lean in to hear you. That's another way of getting her to do it. Exposing vulnerable areas, right? Women, when they like you, they're going to start displaying their neck, their wrists. Sometimes they'll spread their legs open and show their inner thighs a little bit. These are all unconscious signs of sexual openness, right? Like she's imagining in her head, you making out and kissing her neck and stuff like that. They do all these types of things, showing their wrists. showing their inner thighs when they're sexually open to you. Okay. Look for that. Just start paying attention. A lot of guys will do so much better with dating and relationships if they just fucking paid attention, right? This is why women get so mad at guys. And it's not founded, by the way. It's not founded. Like they shouldn't, there's no reason for them necessarily to do this, but I understand it once you understand girl game. Okay. If you're just perceptive, you'll notice girl game. You'll notice them doing all this subtle shit, right? This is why women expect men to read their minds, because they're trying to put on their best girl game by being subtle and using subtext to show their interest in you. And when guys just aren't perceptive, they get frustrated by it. They're like, why doesn't he notice me? Why does he notice me doing this? Why isn't he noticing me doing X, Y, and Z? And guys are just not that good at it. And it's just, if you understood, like if women understood men better, they would, meet us where we are. And if men understood women better, we would meet them where they are a little bit, and we could come together and actually have some decent relationships. But everyone's getting frustrated because, women are mad at men because we're not acting more like women, and men are mad at women because they're not acting more like men. It's kind of funny. Playful touches. Okay. Light touches on your arm, shoulder, or chest that feel accidental. They're not random. Okay. Women aren't trying to touch you if they don't like you. Okay. You'll notice that if you're on a date with a girl and let's say, one of the things I tell guys to do is have a go-to place for a first date and just do drinks only, just to see if you like her or not. If you like her and things are going well, have a second venue down the road, down the street, couple blocks that you guys can walk to and have that change of scenery, because it gives you that 2 dates in one experience. And women will sleep with you by the second or third date on average. And you taking her to 2 venues in one night subconsciously tells her that you've already been on 2 dates already, right? You've gone to 2 different places. You've been on 2 dates already. It speeds up that process. It's a fascinating thing. Well, as you're walking, if she's like accidentally bumping into you, she's not doing that shit on purpose. Okay. Now, when I was absolutely clueless, when I first met Red Pill Chick, I was talking with my hands. She was asking me about my time in the military, and I was explaining things, and I was talking with my hands a lot. And she reached out and grabbed my hands, and she goes, "You're landing airplanes here. Like you don't have to use your hands so much." And she used that as an excuse to touch my hands, right? And at the time, absolutely clueless. And then we got up at one point in the night to go order drinks, and she was standing in front of me at the bar, and she starts like backing into me and nestling her butt into my crotch, right? And I'm just thinking, oh, she seems nice. Oh, she seems really friendly. I think maybe I'll go for a kiss at the end of the night. Just absolutely clueless that she was into me, right? No, women aren't trying to touch you if they don't like you, okay? If they're touching you at all, they like you. One thing that the pickup artists used to do, and I think it's a genius idea, is having something. I like to wear a survival bracelet, right? I made this myself years ago. I like to have it. It's my lucky survival bracelet, right? Have something like this, have any kind of dangling bracelets, have, necklaces or anything that gives them an excuse to touch them. They're like, oh, I like that bracelet. What is that? Give them an excuse. Okay. Give them an absolute excuse. You can thank me later. Viking Charles says, Viking Paradigm says, if I make jokes and she uses them as excuses to make contact over and over, start to play fights with me, that's a clear indicator that she's feeling my vibe. Absolutely. Mike says, Paul about to start wrangling cattle with the stash. You like this thing? I like to curl it up. Talked myself out of so much ass back in the day because I didn't know how to notice these things. Could have given a lot more rides to Pound Town if I had known these things. Yeah. Man, I like to kick the hornet's nest of the incel account there on X all the time. All the time. They have so many, they go viral all the time. They have so many followers. There's so many frustrated dudes out there. Okay. And most of them aren't really incels. Okay. What does incel mean? Involuntarily celibate. Most of these guys have given up without even trying. Okay. They have these preconceived notions that women are just walking up and throwing themselves at tall dudes and that like they're somehow helpless victims. And when I kick that hornet's nest, I like to point out that 99% of girl game is just hoping that you notice them. Like they put themselves in your orbit. That's like if you're at a supermarket and you happen to see the same girl in multiple aisles, it's not a coincidence. She's putting herself in your orbit, hoping you strike up a conversation. Okay. That's girl game. That's them throwing themselves at you. Okay. It's super hilarious because most guys are waiting for written invitations. It's just not going to happen. So stop that shit. Just be perceptive. Right. By the way, guys, follow me on social media. I'm on all the good platforms. The links are in the description there. Okay. Laughter at your jokes, especially the bad ones. Okay. If a girl is laughing at your jokes, especially the dumb, stupid ones, it's kind of a bonding signal, right? But it's often flirtation in disguise. You'll even see chicks do this on TikTok. You'll see videos of chicks going, when I really like a guy, she's like, oh my God, you're so funny, right? Oh my God, you're so funny. If you tell a stinker of a joke and a girl laughs at that shit, she likes you. Okay. She's not, nerd chick laughs at all my dumbass shit. Okay. High responsiveness to your texts or messages. Okay. Girls, when you're texting and you got to drag a fucking conversation out of a girl, she's just not that interested. Okay. I often recommend to guys to stop getting so addicted to texting. A lot of you guys are addicted to texting. You love that dopamine hit. You like keeping those conversations going. When the conversation dies off, you're like, oh shit, what do I say to get this conversation going? My son's doing this, right? My son, he's 16. He's really starting to get good with girls. And I love it. I love that he comes to me too. He comes to me. He's like, Dad, what do I say? What do I say here? She said this. What do I say? You know? And so I've been putting him on game, lately. And I'm like, say this to her. The other day, right? He's talking to this girl. And I think I said it on the podcast already because I just thought it was the funniest thing. But she's talking about, she apologized to him for not being so responsive, even though she's still responsive as shit, right? She is replying to everything that he says. And then she goes, I'm so sorry that I'm not texting back right away. I'm really focusing on school work right now. I'm trying to get a good grade in this class. And he's like, what do I say to this, Dad? I go, call her a nerd. I said, tell her, I didn't realize you were such a nerd, And then I said, but make sure you put the little nerd emoji after that so she knows that you're being playful, right? Because it's hard to read tone with text. A lot of guys will say, don't use emojis when talking to women on text. And I'm like, stop overthinking this shit, okay? Emojis will allow her to see when you're being playful and when you're not. And if you just have plain old text, she might take it the wrong way, okay? So ignore the fucking guys that get up in their head about not using emojis. It's stupid. So I said to do that, and he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, oh, trust me, okay? And so I go, this is what we call a neg, It's a playful neg. And it puts you at a high, it's a demonstration of higher value. Okay. So anyway, I tell him to do that. And then I also put him on Batman game and all this kind of shit. Right. Well, the other day he comes to me and he's like, she hasn't replied to me in a while. What do I say to get the conversation going again? I go, don't. I go, you already sent that text message, last. I go, texting's like tennis. You got to hit the ball over the net and you wait for them to hit the ball back. And if you send another text message trying to keep that conversation going, it actually is subconsciously showing neediness, right? And you're validation seeking and it's unattractive behavior, right? So don't do that. Just wait. And I go, and then when she finally does come back to you, match and mirror her effort. Okay. So if she waits 3 hours to text you back, wait 3 hours and like 20 minutes. Okay. Now, a lot of this might come across as game playing and manipulation or whatever, but really it's breaking unattractive texting habits. Okay. You're breaking that addiction, that dopamine hit that you get from texting. and you're being a man of purpose, a guy who's on purpose, working in living life intentionally, he doesn't have time to text all fucking day. Okay. If you text all fucking day, you actually telegraph to these women that you're a loser and you have nothing better to do. Okay. So don't do that. But if you do text and she immediately replies that she's enthusiastic about it, that's a sign of high interest. Okay. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Let's see here. I have here preening before you arrive or entering the room. You won't be able to see that sort of thing. But if she's like, getting ready, you will see this as a father of a daughter, right? Like if your daughter is like getting herself all ready because of boys getting ready to pick her up, you can tell that she likes this boy, right? You can tell this sort of thing. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Slight blushing or flushing, right? If her face gets, all of a sudden gets red with something, right? Increased blood flow from arousal could cause a woman's face to flush. That's a sign of interest, right? Especially if you guys are having an intimate conversation and she starts getting flushed, she's thinking about sex most likely, right? She's getting a little nervous. It's a good thing. By the way, if you guys find value in any of these episodes, Kamal already showed you what to do. Send a super chat. If you're watching on Facebook right now, you can send, I think the equivalent is stickers or stars or some shit. Anyway, if you're getting value out of these episodes, do consider sending those because it does help support the show. Lingering after the conversation should have ended, right? She finds excuses to stay, asks more questions, or keeps the interaction going. She doesn't want this to end. She's having a good time with you. Okay. If she's not having a good time with you, if she doesn't like you, she's going to be quick to bounce. She's going to, say, oh, my friend is having an existential crisis about, what makeup to put on tomorrow. I got to go help her. Right. Like they'll come up with some bullshit excuse to leave. But if she likes you, she's not going to want to do that. Right. If her friend calls, she's going to fucking hang up on her friend. Right. She's not going to want to be rescued from the conversation because she wants to be in your presence a little bit longer, right? Giggling or nervous smiling, a mix of attraction and vulnerability often triggers this behavior, right? She starts getting awkward around you. She doesn't know what to say. She starts getting dumb around you. She stumbles over her words and she's giggling because she's embarrassed and she's afraid that you're not going to like her, this sort of thing. That she likes you. That's what it comes down to. What's funny? Going back to the playful teasing and all that kind of stuff, it goes back to our instincts as toddlers, right? When we're in preschool and kindergarten, you often see girls who they start hanging around the boys. They start, annoying the shit out of the boys, and the boys are getting mad at the girls and they're picking on the girls and stuff like that. It's because they like each other, right? Mostly it's the girls liking the boys and the boys are like, I just want to play with my trucks. Get away from me, girl, right? But the girls like do that kind of shit because they like the guy, It's funny. It goes to our core. Finding any reason to be near you, right? Standing or sitting closer to the necessary, especially when there's space elsewhere, right? One of the brothers in the wolf pack was talking about this morning. He's talking about this morning. I thought it was interesting. And I was like, you know what? That I should actually bring that up. He was talking about how fucking annoying it is that his wife is following him around the house emoting. And he's like, it's fucking pissing me off. Right. And the thing is that women who like you, they want to be in your presence. Their timing is not always that great. Their timing is not always that great. And you can't let her knock you off purpose, but she just wants your time and attention. And she wants you to focus on her for a minute and be present with her. And if it's a situation where it's just not a good time, it's okay to tell her that, like, honey, I want to listen to what you're talking about. I want to be present with you. I want to hear everything you have to say right now. I'm just right in the middle of something. It's not a good time. Give me like 20 minutes. Okay. And then let me wrap this up and then I will give you all my time. Okay. It's okay to set that boundary and be cool with her. right? And it just let her know, because she doesn't realize it. She's in her women brain right now, being emotional and shit. Okay. But she just wants your presence, and she wants someone to be there and feel heard and understood. And it's funny. I understood the concept of that, but what really forced me to practice this is my cat, my female cat. And the thing is that women, you'll find, act very much like cats, right? If you tell them what to do, if you chase them around, like, like they won't do what you tell them to do. If you chase them, they run away, right? But if you ignore them and act like you don't need them or whatever, and let them come and go as they please, they want to sit on your lap, right? And so my girl cat, she is like so fucking skittish, right? If she is just a ball of anxiety, but every once in a while, she wants to climb on my lap, and she wants on her terms to like settle on my chest. And when she does it, it's almost always when I'm like editing videos, I'm editing TikToks or something on my phone or whatever. I'm like right in the middle of something. And she comes up and she climbs up on my lap. And I've had to force myself to just put the phone down for a minute and just pay attention to her. And just give her a minute, and just be like, oh, you're such a baby cat. You just want your time with your dad, right? Like whatever. And I just give her some time and attention. And then I go, okay, hon, I gotta get back to work now. And then she's good. Okay. Your girl is the same way. Your girl is the same way. She just needs to climb on your lap for a little bit. Just, sometimes if you can, put down whatever you're doing and just focus on her for a little bit. That's all she needs. She just needs a few minutes. Anyway, so they find reasons to be near you, right? By the way, guys, if you want to work with me one-on-one, you can book a call by going to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com. Let's see here. Did we knock out all these already? Oh, you'll see here. Preening. Yeah, man. This is going to be a short episode. I was like, man, I'm going to go through all these and it's going to take forever, but these are actually, we're getting through almost all these here. Let's see here. Slight blushing. We talked about lingering after the conversation, giggling, finding reasons to be near you. Okay. Now, another one's fascinating, right? So let's say that they cross their legs, right? But their legs are pointed towards you, or their feet are pointed towards you. That's a subtle body language that she's directing her attention and energy towards you. Okay. A lot of people, like, they'll say it in the space, like, watch her feet, like, are her toes pointing at you? And then there's this, accompanying joke where they're like, if her feet are behind your ears, she really likes you. Right. But that's an interesting thing, right? It sounds funny at first if you're like, oh, her feet, what, who cares? Right. But you look down at her feet. If her feet are pointing towards you, she's directing her attention at you. If she's pointing her, like, one foot is pointing out this way, she's trying to fucking escape. Okay. And you learn this in pickup too. If you walk up to a girl, it actually helps you to not be pointed right at her, because then she feels like she's boxed in, right? But if you walk up to her sort of almost like a sideways approach, like you're going to leave any minute, and you give yourself a artificial time constraint, it signals to her, hey, I'm not here trying to take up all your time. And then you just do your bit, and, it makes her feel more comfortable talking to you, because she's like, oh, this guy's not going to take up all my time. He's going to leave any minute. So you say, hey, I got to get back to, to my friend over here real quick, but I just thought you were gorgeous, and I was wondering if I can get your number, right? You'll see that in pickup artistry all the time. You'll see, watch Troy Francis do an infield video. He's almost always at an angle or sideways to a chick when he walks up and starts talking to her, So this body language is more important than you think. If you ever read the book Atomic Attraction, Christopher Canwell points out that men are terrible at picking up on body language. They did a study where they had men and women watch a video with the sound off, and women, like, something like 70% of the time, knew exactly what was happening in these videos based purely on the body language of the people in the video. And something only like 10 or 20% of dudes knew what was going on, because most guys are terrible at picking this crap up. Okay. So just being perceptive, right? What are her feet doing? Are they pointing towards you or away from you? Right? Is she focusing her attention on you, or is she trying to get away from you? Okay, that's what that's signaling. A light voice or whispering. So a softer, slower voice often accompanies increased attraction, right? Have you ever noticed that a woman really starts, she starts really getting into an intimate sort of voice with you when she's really into you? Have you noticed that? Well, you'll notice it now. You'll notice it now, right? All these things are super subtle. Like most of these guys just aren't paying attention to any of this stuff, right? Let's see here. Mike says, I have a bracelet that's the solar system. Gals love it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you have any kind of crystals or, what I used to like to wear occasionally on the dating circuit was I had a, what was it? It was a Leo necklace, right? Because women are all into astrology and, all that kind of woo-woo shit. And I'm into the woo-woo, not necessarily astrology, but that sort of thing is good to know. If you understand the concept of the astrological signs and all that kind of stuff, you can really use that to your advantage because women are totally into it. There was a video from like 3 years ago where a guy walked up to a gal, or he was walking up to different gals on the street, and he would walk up to him and say, hey, what's your sign? And no matter what the chick said, he would go, Aries. Well, I could never. And he'd just walk away. And the girls were like, what? What do you mean you can never? And it made all these women qualify to him. It was hilarious to watch. Literally any sign they said, they would walk up. He's like, what are you? They're like, Capricorn. Capricorn. I could never. And he would walk away. Or if you understand, certain signs go together really well. Like all that kind of stuff's fun to know. There was a website that someone came up with 2 years ago where you put in any 2 astrological signs and it would come up with some bullshit reason why they were super compatible. And you could use that like when you were texting with a chick and you'd say, hey, just curious, your profile says that you're a Libra, right? Well, I happen to be an Aries. Fascinating. I just looked it up on this website. We're totally compatible apparently. And all of a sudden the stars are aligning, right? And she believes in this fucking soulmate bullshit. Use that shit to your advantage, guys. It's great. Mike says, I crack cheese-related jokes with Cheese Maiden, and she snort laughs at all of them. Perfect. Cheese Maiden. That's an inside Wolfpack joke, guys. Tarl says, yep, this is why I say dad jokes are a high tier game as long as you own them and don't overuse all of the time. Yeah, top tier dad joke game, bro. Especially when you're a single dad. Is perfect. Perfect game. Women love to play games. That's why we call it game. Absolutely. The key pro skill is making her play by your rules, not hers. Right. And that's an exercise in frame, right? And if she won't play by your rules, she doesn't like you, move on. Exactly. Stop trying to get chicks to like you who don't like you, right? Walk through open doors. Erkin says, there is a cat person in the manosphere. Thank God. Unlike all the other dog obsessed red. It's funny. I wouldn't have described myself as a cat person if you talked to me 6 or 7 years ago, right? I had my dog, my professional podcasting dog, Sadie, who passed away in January. And I had her since 2012. And I before her, if you ever talk to me, I was like, I'm a dog person. Cats don't love you. Cats tolerate you. Cats don't have people, they have staff or some shit, And then my daughter talked me into getting a cat. She really wanted a cat. And I was like, when as a single guy out on the dating circuit, having a dog is kind of like having a boat anchor. Like having a dog is very much like having small children. They need to be cared for all the time. You always need to find someone to watch them. And my dog, I would leave her in the house. She was pretty good about this. I couldn't leave her outside because she was an escape artist, but I would leave her in the house and she would be in the house for hours and hours and hours. She had a steel bladder, poor thing. And so I'd go out on dates and come back in, like rush back home to like let her out and stuff. And it was always this thing where I had to get back to the dog. And I was like, man, when she passes away, I'm going to get a cat because cats are a little more self-sufficient. Yeah, they might not love you or whatever. Well, I ended up getting a cat before she passed away. And that was when I was dating Marine Corps chick. I took her cat because she ended up with a cat from a previous boyfriend or something. The guy got the cat and then they broke up and then she was stuck with this cat. And she didn't want the cat, and my daughter wanted a cat, so I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll take that cat." So that's my female cat, Dr. Kit. Dr. Kit is what her name is. And man, I love that fucking cat. She is such a great animal. She's so cool. And then a couple years later, my former father-in-law, he had his barn cat had a litter of cats, and my daughter was like, "Dad, can we take one of these kittens? This one here, he's the runt of the litter and no one's taking him. And I'm worried about him. And I'm worried that grandpa's just going to take him out to the river and throw him in the river. Cause that's how that he is. And I'm looking at this pictures of this baby cat that she's holding up. And I was like, yeah, I'll take him. Sure. You know, cause I was like, when my dog passes away, the female cat is going to be lonely. And so I should get another cat. That was a bad idea, but because they fight all the time. And so my daughter brings this cat home. Turns out he wasn't really the runt of the litter. He just had a shitty attitude problem. He was hissing at everybody and no one wanted him because he was hissing at everybody because he had a bad attitude. Right. Well, I take him and he's the most loving fucking cat, most loyal cat I've ever seen in my life. And so like both these cats have dismantled my paradigm that cats don't love you. I'm like, no, they totally fucking love you. They want to be in my room all the time. My boy cat wants to cuddle all the fucking time. In fact, in the middle of the night, he climbs up and he starts floofing my face at like 2 a.m. He likes to floof my face and then cuddle with my arm. And like, he'll just lay there for the next 3 hours, you know, like, no, they love the shit out of you. Forget it. Okay. Anyway, went off on a tangent there. Curiosity about your dating life. Okay. If a girl subtly asks if you're seeing anyone, she's trying to see if you're single, for one. And what most guys do is if they're not seeing anyone, they say, oh, no, I'm not seeing anyone. Right. Thinking that's a good thing. Okay. If let's say it's a chick you're meeting socially, it might not be that big of a deal. It's probably not the end of the end of the world if you say something like that. But if you're actively on the dating circuit and you're on dating apps and a girl asks you if you're dating other people or if you're seeing other people, it's the worst thing to say, no, I'm not seeing anyone right now. Because you're clearly on the dating circuit. You're clearly on the apps. And that just tells her subconsciously that you don't fuck, right? Like other women don't like you. Okay. So don't ever say that. And especially if you want to build up a rotation of women, you have to communicate that you have a rotation of women, right? So you got to at the very least say, I always have room for one more. You know, that's a better way of saying that than say, oh no, I'm not seeing anyone else. Women don't like me very much, right? Like women like men that other women like. Use that to your advantage, okay? All right. And then the last one I have here is subtle sexual innuendos. Okay. Now, if she makes playful or double entendres or those types of comments, one, she's thinking about it, right? Women aren't going to bring up sex or any kind of dirty sex talk if they're not at least thinking about it. Okay. Especially if they don't like you, they want the conversation to flow the furthest thing away from sex. So they're not going to bring that shit up if they don't like you. So if they're bringing it up, they're thinking about it. And it's actually a good sign. Now, most guys will put their fucking foot in their mouth. Okay. We had this conversation in Wolfpack, one of the brothers in there. We were talking about how when a woman brings that sort of thing up, oftentimes it's a shit test. And he's like, I don't get it. Isn't that a good thing? Don't we want to jump on that and take advantage of that? It's like most guys think that. Most guys think, oh yeah, I'm going to jump in here and just immediately get really sexual with a chick. And a lot of times it's a shit test and it'll turn them off. You know, one of the pickup artists out there, Style, right? Better known as Neil Strauss, talks about this in the book, The Game. And he says women will do that sometimes just to see if you'll get too sexual too soon. And, if, he just wants me for sex, fuck him, right? Even though like, yeah, we're guys. Of course, we don't just want you for sex, but Jesus Christ, this is why we're out here. Fun-filled opportunity for sex to happen. Don't kid yourselves. So what he would say is if a woman brought up a sexual innuendo or talked about like how horny she is and how she fucks all the time or how crazy she is in bed and she likes all the toys and whips and chains and shit like that, he would just put his fist out and be like, respect. And just shut that down, right? Respect, right? There's also lots of different ways to say that, like, I'm a choir boy, or just say, you're the one that brought it up, whatever. There's lots of different ways to handle that. And it's often best, a good rule of thumb, that it's just to treat it like a shit test. Okay. Now, some guys will say, no, there's ways to do it. And there's ways to escalate. Okay, fine. But for 99% of you guys out there, treat it like a shit test. Okay. You're not going to escalate things the way you're hoping. All right, man, we really burned through these. I hope you guys got some value out of this episode, but that's all I got on my list right now. There's lots of different things that women do, but they're all subtle. So just be perceptive at this sort of thing. Okay. All right, guys, that's all I got. I don't see any other super chats in there. We'll just go ahead and wrap it up and have a short episode today. Tune into the podcast on Friday. We're going to be talking about various ways that you can hold frame around women. If you find yourself getting frustrated with women, getting pissed off by what they do, you need this episode. Okay. Don't miss it. And guys, I would love to see you in the Wolfpack Hangout tomorrow night. When we have a Wolfpack Hangout, it's a virtual call. It's a video call. We get the whole pack together and we just talk about guy stuff. It's a great way for guys to connect with like-minded guys and swap notes and just have a good time. If something heavy is going on, we'll address it. If not, we just have a good time of like-minded guys. Most guys don't have any friends out there. This is a great way to connect with other guys. We've had guys, we had a whole crew of guys up in Ohio for a while, and they would get together on the regular in person and go be each other's wingmen and stuff like that. If that's you and you're like, man, I don't have anyone around to hang out with and go do day game and whatever, join the pack. There's probably someone in the pack in your area that you guys can go hang out with. All right. So join that. The link's in the description for that. Other than that, by the way, guys, tomorrow before the pack hangout, I'm actually going to be interviewing the legendary John Gray. If you don't know who John Gray is, he wrote the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. It's pretty blue pilled, but a lot of what he said has some merit. And I've had some success following some of the advice that he's had. Or he gave in that original book that he came out with in 1992. So that should be a fun interview. I'm going to be pre-recording that. And then probably not this coming Monday, but the Monday after is when that episode will drop. It will be a pre-recorded live stream, but look for that. Okay. If you've followed John Gray, if you've ever read his books or if you ever heard of him, I think you're going to like that conversation. I'm going to try to not have it be such a blue pill episode as much as possible, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Other than that, guys, smash that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on Friday.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.